Hey everybody, this is Everything Finally Is Ruined. A village randomly in Japan now, I guess that's what we're doing. And also, I'm your host, Tristan. Hassan, good thing you're here. I have a huge favor to ask you.
Okay, what's the favor?
There are bandits that are going to attack the Everything Is Finally Is Ruined village in like a month, let's say. Maybe less. Probably less. Let's say like 10, 15 days.
Okay.
Yeah. I need like warriors. Specifically like I'm not going to say like I don't need anything specific from any specific nationality, but like samurai would be pretty good, I guess.
Okay. I don't know any samurai.
Okay.
What if I got a white dude who's real into anime to help you?
Can you get me 7 of them?
Like 2, maybe 3.
Really? That's it? That's all you know of that? Really? I mean,
anime figures are expensive. I can't look. Bribing 7s. I don't have that kind of cash on hand right now. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But the village is in trouble, and like hundreds, if not thousands, will die in the village. I mean, we are a very poor village, and we need to make sure people will prosper. We have rice paddies. Just like 3, really? Is that it?
Yeah, again, anime figures are expensive, and like, you know,
yeah,
I'm gonna have to order them online, so I have to get here. So things are gonna be tight anyways.
Just gonna Google anime figures.
Oh, you really don't want to do that, because now you're gonna learn about how they make figurines that they use different plastics on different areas, so that certain parts of the body are like soft and squishy.
Yep. They do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not wrong. No, that's my Google search history all fucked up now. All right, great. Yeah, it was already messed up. Let's be honest. Of all the things that I've Googled, that's the least offensive thing I Googled probably today. Well, it's too bad that our village, the Everything Is Fighting Is Ruined village, is doomed to die because we couldn't put together 7, let's say, swordsmen, warriors, samurai, preferably. Couldn't do that. Well, we have time to kill. Like, the bandits will be here in like 10, 15 days, and we need to at least kill an hour, I guess. What do you want to talk about?
Are you trying to lead up to Spider Riders? Is that what this is? You're talking about like 7, and they gotta be swordsmen and stuff. It's Spider Riders, right?
No.
No.
That'd be awesome, but no.
It would not be awesome.
Yes, it would. It was bad, but like that's worth talking about.
Oh, please don't make us do a Spider Riders episode. Please don't, Tristan.
Maybe you'll do
no.
it. So.
We're here to talk about 2020's Ghost of Tsushima, a game I played recently as it came to PC. I would say a game that I did enjoy. I don't think I enjoyed it less than people. I would say I perhaps am going to be far more critical of it than a lot of people.
Sure.
So, to a little bit of setup. So, as I said, game came out in 2020, sort of an open world combat game from Sucker Punch, studios that previously did the Sly Cooper series as well as Infamous. So, quite a departure. This game is set in sort of 12-ish hundreds. I don't recall if they actually said it in the exact year of when the Mongols attempted to invade Japan, which according to Wikipedia was 1274.
Checks out.
The game, I don't remember. The game might actually be set in that exact year, but it's set basically at that exact same time.
Well, I mean, do you fight Mongols in the game?
Oh yeah.
No, then probably yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a retelling of that, a very different made up story version of it.
Yeah.
And it's very much inspired by Akira Kurosawa to the point that they
What? No.
they literally have, I believe they
There's
call
no
it
way.
Kurosawa mode, which is just
Yeah.
a black and white filter, which I didn't bother putting it on. I had already seen it from coverage. It doesn't really work because like the thing that you know, made Kurosawa work was that all of his shots were very specifically lit in very specific ways. So just applying a black and white filter,
Nope. Doesn't work.
it doesn't make stuff actually look like a Kurosawa film.
As a Akira Kurosawa fan, it's not offensive, but it's like they just did not. Just don't call it that. Just be like, yeah, old timey samurai movie.
It's the
filter.
problem of you couldn't actually apply in like Kurosawa mode to this game because that would just be impossible.
You
This
could
is an
just
open world exploration game. You can't all of a sudden make every camera angle matter in the way that he did. It
Yeah,
just,
this is very
so-
true. I mean, like you could have just made a game that just does that. That's the option there, I guess.
Oh, sure, but that's a completely different game. Than
Exactly.
what they made,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But getting into it, like one of my biggest probably like friction points for this game for me that I think I did see some comments, and I unfortunately could not tell you who it was that was saying it because it would have been back when the game first came out. But one of the things that I
Rain
just
blows upon them.
the game just rubbed me the wrong way on. Is that this is very much like historic propaganda in the sense that
Yeah.
it buys into and wants you to also buy into the sort of fabled legends and stories and idea of the noble samurai, you know, who is the master swordsman, you know, the greatest history has ever known, which hey, turns out, you know, like, yeah, they were good swordsmen. Were they?
Oh, there were fantastic,
like,
samurai
oh my god,
swordsmen
compared
there.
to the European, you know, oh, the Europeans are like idiots waving their sticks, like they don't even know how to wave that compared. Like, no, that's nonsense. Like, of course, you know,
They're
like,
different
hey,
styles.
turns out basically every country in the world had master swordsmen because
Yes.
of course you would, because combat and war were constants.
It's as if during these periods when we had, you know, swordsmen and people wielding weapons in melee combat, you would have people who were also experts in doing so, a la your Miyamoto Musashi's or your George Silvers. Two very different people during different
you know,
things.
like, let's be honest, people we've probably
period,
never heard of were probably incredible swordsmen.
Absolutely.
It's just, didn't get written down about them or whatever. Like, once you buy into that, and you know, like, oh, your characters will do haiku and play music, and you know, oh, such and such a family. Let me see if I can find one of them. The clan Adachi is one that like frequently comes up in this, and how, you know, oh, they were these, you know, great stewards of the land and the people who lived on it under them and who served clan Adachi. And you're like, no, the samurai were absolute awful people to, you know, the poor folk who had to work under them, and it sucks for them, and there's a reason why a lot of nations had violent revolutions to
Yes.
throw out that style of.
If the samurai were so noble and amazing, ninja wouldn't exist. The idea of a farmer picking up a sickle and going to kill a fucking samurai in the field wouldn't have been a thing if they were so cool.
Yeah,
you know?
or just
Same with
like
knights.
it occasionally it touches on these like the negative aspects of certain things where this samurai guy is a drunk or this samurai guy is kind of a lecher, but it mostly wants you to like be very much like yes, the noble chivalrous samurai and their code of honor and that. And I just and to be clear,
into it.
It's not just like, I don't like this for Japan and samurai. I hate it when European stuff does this with medieval knights.
Sure,
yeah. Even like North America, I hate it when stuff does the sort of noble savage with Native Americans and stuff.
Cowboys were the thing at that point.
Yeah, I feel like cowboys, there's a little bit more of a anti-hero to them.
Yes, definitely.
They're not quite as, pure of heart compared to, knights and samurai and that.
No, not so much. There were, but like your Baz Reeves and that kind of stuff. But like,
Yeah, but I hate anything that tries to portray the past in that way and not actually talk about the realities of it.
100%.
Most samurai were actually drinking all the time and having affairs and children out of wedlock.
So one thing that the samurai did was blade testing, which would often occur. I'm sure this might come up. Maybe this comes up with Ghost of Tsushima, but if not, then that's kind of an unfortunate, because it's the thing. So if you ever play the Way of the Samurai games, blade testing is a thing. The idea behind that is that drunk, awful samurai would walk out into the woods somewhere, wait for peasants to go by with whatever thing they're doing, and then just cut them down to test their blade.
Because Tristan, they're okay. Those are peasants, not real people. So
more real than samurai. Yeah. Anyway, point is, so they would test the blade.
It's like cutting a straw doll.
It really isn't. It's like a real person.
I don't think it is.
They bleed?
Peasants.
No, yeah, they bleed, and they're real people.
Yeah, it's like a dirty blood. It's not like good blood like we have.
Yeah, I see. Anyway, so point is, the samurai who did this were often very fucking drunk. Like, really, really drunk. And, like, it's at this point that...
Be real, some of them probably weren't.
Oh, probably, some of them probably weren't. Some of them were very much just into the idea of just killing random people. Because they could just get away with it because they were rich, entitled pieces of crap. Same with a lot of knights. Now, knights didn't typically go around killing random people because you had a few more retributions under your belt there. Divine Christian right and that kind of stuff. Back in those times, it would be like eye for an eye. So if you get caught doing that, we'll hold you accountable, and then like the guy, the family the person you cut down will just take what they need from you. Usually your life as well. Now that didn't always happen because if you were a knight, you were also a landowner and therefore a landlord. But you didn't want to usually test that steel because if you're
not like it'd be that hard to bribe whichever entity was trying to enforce this. Oh no, actually it turns out the husband murdered his wife. It's like, I don't even have a sword though. Wow, well,
I stole a sword from somewhere.
With a kitchen knife or something. We don't know, but definitely not the landlord here. So sucks to be you.
Sucks to be you. Weapon theft happened a lot back in those days too. So
yeah. We'll say, on the reverse side, credit to them. I do think that this does a pretty decent job of not making the Mongols out to just be inhuman savages, because
no, they were actually
that's
brilliant.
always going to be a struggle in any form of media where you have, hey, one group of people that have to murder a whole lot of this other group while being, you know, the good guys.
Yep.
It's like, okay, well, typically you other the people they're killing so that, you know, we as the audience don't feel bad. That's like, hey, you know.
Question for you. When you're fighting Mongols, do any of them appear on horseback?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they shoot arrows from horseback?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a tough one because most of the time when you get in the combat, you're getting off your horse.
Yeah, but if do they ride around you and shoot arrows at you?
No. Just because like that would be fun from a gameplay perspective.
Yeah, but
right?
Yeah, sure. I
get that would be good, but from
that was
a
their
gameplay
thing.
perspective, that would suck.
So the Mongols were brilliant because, like, just to gush a little bit historically over Mongols, they invented a saddle that you could grip with your thighs and then like in your legs in a certain way, which meant you can actually shoot a bow from horseback, because it's actually really hard to shoot a bow from horseback because you need a lot of draw pressure, and you can't like move your horse around very well if you're riding without your hands in typical settings. So they found a way around that, and that's one of the reasons why they actually were so good at conquering other places, because they had this technology they figured out, and like gunpowder and that kind of stuff. Like they were brilliant tacticians and warriors.
This game, you know, it has to make that compromise to make
the gameplay
of
course.
Fun, right? Because if you just had enemies riding around on horse shooting you with arrows, you're like, well, what do I like? What I'm just dodging until they hopefully get close enough I can hit them. That sucks.
Sure, yeah, this is a game,
but they do use a lot of bow and arrow in this.
Fair enough. That's good.
Yeah,
I know where they're shooting.
Getting to the combat. I think the combat, it's kind of the story of this game, has a lot of just two sides to it. The combat is also really good and also has some real just parts to it. The part that's really good is the sword combat part. It is incredibly good. It feels very good. So, you know, you swing your sword. You have different stances that you can go into depending on the kind of enemy you're fighting. So if you're just fighting a guy who's a little bit faster with a sword, you want a stance that's very good for that. You'll sometimes face guys with spears, so you want a form where you're a little bit more acrobatic, and that allows you to kind of break through their spear attacks. There's ones with shields where, you know, you're doing really heavy strikes to just get through the shield and kind of break their defense so that your blows can land. It also had... What are you doing?
Sorry. No, I need to stop that because...
like you're a cat or something.
Okay. I'm very critical about like historical, medieval and like weapon martial arts stuff, because I know a lot about this stuff. I've researched a lot about this. If you got a shield and you have a sword and that's all you got, one of your best bets is to try and either A, get around the shield, or B, just try and grab the shield if you can.
Nah. Trust me. I played this game. The best thing you can do
is really
just
swallow.
Just kind of like hit the shield over and over again, and then the guy's defenses go down, and then you stab him.
Yeah, okay. Same with the spear. If they go for the spear, if you can parry a bit and then grab the haft, and then you got
the best thing you do. It's kind of this like flippy spin thing. You'd think it would expose you, but no, it actually works really well.
It's
not.
It's a video game.
Accurate.
Fine.
It's very much a video game, but like. One of the things that's really fun in it, and I've really enjoyed, is, and this is where it's like Akira Kurosawa inspiration comes from, is you can sometimes come across enemies just out in the open world. And if you press up on the D-pad, it goes into this sort of almost like Red Dead Redemption had, where it would have its dual mode, where it's you're holding down the top face button, and an opponent it kind of walks up to you, and they'll kind of try and get you to try and release the button early, and then they can attack you. So some of the guys will sit there and be like,
oh.
And then when they actually like go for the downward slash, you have to let go, and you'll just literally slice through them one hit combo.
Okay. Yeah.
But you can upgrade your skills so that more guys will come running at you, and then you just time it, and you could just flash through 3 or 4 guys, and it just feels really good.
Cool.
I would also say, compared to a similar sort of Sony, prestige game of God of War, where I had a lot of complaints about how like the skill upgrade and equipment stuff in that was all just...
You mean the 2018 one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all just felt like so pointless of, I just don't care about this 8% more this, 5% more this. Yeah. Oh, enhanced fire damage versus frost damage, like all that. Just did not care. And here, there's a little bit of that, but generally I would say that like actual upgrades feel good, where it is stuff of like, oh, actually you get another combo to whatever it calls its, dual slash, or you get like these charms, and they can genuinely give you different abilities to things, where like one of them we're about to talk about with the stealth power, but like one of them will be, hey, if you throw out these bells that distract people, when they go over to it, it releases a poison and kills a person, versus just distracting them. So it just feels like the kind of skill trees and upgrades, they just feel more substantive, and like they actually have an impact to the gameplay in a way that the God of War didn't.
Okay.
On the flip side, to where I think the gameplay is the stealth part of the game.
Popcorn stealth, yeah.
I did not ever really enjoy it. So the stealth in this, it's not going for, say, something like a Splinter Cell, or even to a certain extent a Hitman. It's going for more of a Assassin's Creed style, where
popcorn stealth.
Often what you're trying to do in the stealth sections is just kill all the people in an area. It's not, oh, you're being stealthy because you want to. Occasionally there are a couple missions where it will be, no, you have to sneak by people, and you have to get a map or whatever without being seen. But most of the time it's just, no, just use your stealth kills, or stealth abilities, to kill all the guys in this area to get past it. More often than not, it's literally, oh, you have to just stealth kill all the people in this area. That is the actual goal, is just kill everybody in this area.
Gotcha.
And just, the stealth is so basic. What you're doing, like, compared to something like an Assassin's Creed, where it feels way more of a, okay, hey, I'm in this area, I can hide behind this, or I can go over this ledge to hide. I can hide behind this series of plants. I can hide in this pile of leaves. I can hide in, there's just all these ways for you to sneakily get around.
Yeah.
You have a variety of ways to kill people with, blow darts and your actual stealth daggers and ways to distract them and all these things. Whereas this, your just options are way more limited. And they kind of have to have it, because that's the ghost part of Ghost of Tsushima. But man, I wish the stealth wasn't there. I think the game would be much better for it.
Yeah, it looks like it's a better sword fighting game than anything.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And getting onto another topic, one of the things that also hurts the stealth part of it is very mixed feelings on the actual world, the Isle of Tsushima as they've created it, because the nature part of it, gorgeous. Riding your horse through these fields of
everything I've seen in this game,
flowers or you know, trees swaying,
beautiful.
Sort of wheat beside a river or lake, all that stuff, gorgeous. All the actual kind of like non-natural parts of it, utterly boring.
That's too bad.
I just like there is very little in the way of interesting architecture to look at. So continuing that Assassin's Creed comparison, I recently played Assassin's Creed Mirage, really liked that. Also thinking of an even older game though, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, a game set, I don't know, probably 2,000 years before this game is. Like that game is in the time of the Romans being in Egypt. So I don't know what, I think that's around 2000 BC.
So a little later than that, but I think so. Yeah, you're right.
A much older game era and even an older game in time. But that is a game you ride around and there is just interesting, or not even necessarily interesting, but at least unique things in the world that are man-made, whether it's houses, whether it's statues, whether it's just a lighthouse, random buildings like that.
Sure.
This game, just all of the houses look the same. There is nothing in them that is interesting.
That's too bad.
You don't encounter people out in the world doing anything interesting. And the world is just full. Like, you could barely go for more than a minute or two in any direction without just encountering either Mongols or bandits or just other bad guys that, you know, you could try and avoid, but most of the time you're just going to fight them.
So you just it's lousy with fucking with things to do.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Maybe got a few too many things to do.
That's a separate complaint. That I'm just talking about like combat stuff. You're always running into combat in it. But just it's not you know, you come across a Mongol camp and like every camp, it's just the same set of assets being used over and over and over.
Oh man, sure.
All the Japanese homes and buildings, they're all the same over and over and over. There's no, and it might be accurate to the time. I will not pretend to be an expert, but like, if I think about the Assassin's Creed Mirage or I believe it's Odyssey, the one that is set in ancient Egypt.
Origins, I think it is.
Origins. Yes,
Odyssey
Origins.
is in Greece.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Origins. That's what I'm thinking of. Like those two games, you know, certain buildings will have different colors. There'll be, you know, like plants, or people will be doing stuff. In this game, it's just like every building is the exact same wood and paper doors, the exact same stone bases. It's just a very boring world, and especially it's a large map, and it just gets tiring after a while. On top of that, you said, "Oh, there's too much to do." There's definitely there wouldn't be too much to do if the map just wasn't so big, but it has your like very standard open world tropes of, oh, you know, here are there are fox shrines that you go to, and hey, you just have to follow a fox that will take you to this shrine. There are hot springs to visit. There are haikus to write.
Hot Springs Adventure.
Yeah, so
Like the animes.
we'll talk about those separately.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's a separate issue, but
Okay.
it just there's a bunch of like checklist items that I wouldn't mind, except, and this part of it, this game's just too long.
Yeah.
Just a second here. Let me just check how long to beat Ghost of Tsushima. And I did not necessarily 100% this game. So according to How Long to Beat, the main story is 25 hours. I think you could probably do it in that time.
Sure.
Main plus sides is 46, which is probably where the majority of people are going to land.
Sure, yeah.
Actually, yeah, looking at it, according to their polling, the main story is 820, main plus extras 2.1 thousand. So, about triple do main plus stories, which makes sense. It's just too much. This game needed to be about 12 hours shorter, probably, something around that for me. So, getting into the plot of it, so you play as Jin Sakai, who is the nephew of the... I'm just going to call him... let me see if I can find his actual title. I guess it's just Lord. So Lord, sorry, he's the Jito of Tsushima. So, he's like the regent, the ruler of the island, acting as a representative of the head of Japan. You are his nephew. The Mongols arrive. You fight them on a beach. You lose. Your uncle gets kidnapped. You join up with about 3 main characters. So there's Yuna. There is Lady Adachi. And then there is... oh, wow, his name is not listed as one of the main ones. He's like an older samurai who, he was your master at one point, taught you the bow.
Okay.
I'm trying to find his name here, but it's not jumping out at me. It doesn't matter. You join up with them, and throughout it, you have the main story, which is basically Jin figuring out ways to fight back against the Mongols. It involves him becoming the ghost and this whole conflict that he has between using, these, like ninja tactics, basically, stealthy, stabbing people, poisoning them. Oh, that's not the way of the samurai meets his enemy head on the battlefield. We don't sneak up and kill people like this. Which absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
Repeatedly, your uncle does actions of, like your uncle berates you for this after you rescue him. He's talking about, oh, this is the way we do this. But at one point, he needs to send a message to Japan, to mainland Japan, to let them know what's happening. And, oh, okay, we need to distract the Mongols while this boat is escaping past them. So we're going to sneak attack their base. Okay, so you berate me when I do that one-on-one with a person, but it's okay when it's the two of us attacking a base to sneakily rain down arrows, or not sneakily, but to we're going to hide to the side, shoot off a bunch of arrows, and kill them to announce our attack. It's like, that is the same thing you're berating me for. Goes back to the first point, just it annoyed me, but there's kind of 3 sections of the map. There's the starting section before you rescue your uncle, the second section after you rescue him, and then the third section where you basically betray him by using your ghost tactics to poison a bunch of the Mongols and force them north into this snowy area.
Sure.
It just felt like that third snowy area, I just didn't need it. that's the point where it's like, still more of this, huh? I would have been okay if we just ended it after the second area.
I'm assuming the snow area is like a like that's the end game section.
Yeah,
I'm assuming they got harder to fight there. Please say yes.
Yeah, like the thing is, the enemies don't really necessarily get. I'm trying to word this carefully because they do get harder, but it's not necessarily. It's not like a Dark Souls where, well, they're getting harder because, they are getting new abilities or anything like that. It's the same mostly. They had a couple of new enemies, but mostly it's the same, like swordsman, spearman, guy with shield, guy with a big club.
Sure.
The same ones of those, but what happens is they will basically have you face off more of them and more of a variety of them. So it'll be,
I see.
A spear guy and a shield guy are going to come at you the same way. So the challenge becomes more in how you're managing that and how you're slowly chipping away at them. Whereas earlier on, the enemies will kind of fight you more just one-on-one, and it'll be less variety of it. So it'll be more, here's, 3 swordsmen, 1 spear guy. So it's pretty easy to go, okay, I'm just going to go take out the 3 swords guys, switch to my stance. That makes it easy to take out the spear guy. So the combat does get harder. The individual enemies do not necessarily get harder, is what I would say.
I see.
They get a little bit harder, but it's not massively.
Yeah, okay. Go on.
But, so problems with the length of it are also going back to speaking about things like those hot springs and the haiku. The haiku stuff I actually just think is bad in general and uninteresting. Mostly because so the way it works is just your character will sit down and then it'll just sort of tell you the prompt of like, think about resiliency, and then you just he looks around and it'll be like, he looks at the sky, a river, and a tree, and you just select one of those options that it sort of relates to a haiku line. But one of the things about haiku is everybody just thinks it's 575 and that's it. The reality is it's a lot deeper, and there are specific words that you are supposed to use, etc. And that just doesn't come across in English. It just doesn't work in English because those things don't exist in the same way.
Yeah, the 575 is a simplified English version of it. Because the way it sounds in Japanese, it would be technically 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables.
Yeah,
in English,
it is a part of it, but there's more to what each line is supposed to represent and mean.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Again, they're literal. I think they're supposed to be I forget what they're called, but I could be completely wrong on what they are. I only remember hearing about once, but there are these double meaning words that they can have, weird or interesting uses that you're supposed to throw one of those in there where it's this word can be read to mean dog, but it could also be used to mean a madman. And hey, you can toss this in there in this haiku, and that makes it more interesting. It's you could try and do the same in English, but it's very difficult. So I thought doing the haiku sucked, and they also there's the hot springs where it gives you a prompt. It'll be do you want to think about your uncle or your allies? And what these are supposed to be is taking from a film. Hey, a 2-hour film. Often there will be a point of, okay, we just had a bunch of action. We need to have a moment where the characters can the characters and the audience can decompress a little from this.
Exactly.
Relax, take things in, process what happened before more action happens. Yeah. In a 2-hour film, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. In a 40-hour game, where I, the player, control the pacing, it's very annoying and just gets tedious after a while to constantly have these. Game, I don't need this breather because it's a video game where most segments aren't that long, 15, 20 minutes tops. I can just save and walk away if I want. A film, you could technically do that, but that's kind of weird. So it kind of goes back to that like Akira Kurosawa mode where it feels like, I get what you're going for, but no, actually. And it wouldn't be so bad if it was like, oh, there's 4 to 5 haiku things. I think there's probably about 20 in this game, and it's just 4 to 5 times too many. Same with the hot springs, same with the fox shrines.
It sounds like a North American studio should not have made a samurai game.
No, I don't think that's the problem, especially because this game is very well received and respected in Japan for how well it adhered to a lot of Japanese culture and stuff.
Fair enough.
I think even a Japanese studio would have done all these same things because that's just the nature of most open world games. You have to just have a ton of little things across this world so that characters don't feel like, hey, I just spent 3 minutes riding across this area and it was just like real life. Hey, all that there was trees and grass. There wasn't anything, for me to interact with or do. And I just, the things they have in there, like the haiku and the hot springs, even the fox shrines, they just aren't that interesting is kind of the problem there. It's, I get what you're going for, but you should have had something else in here that's just more interesting to interact with and encounter. I'll also say I personally did not dislike the tone of the game, but I got very tired of it after a while, where it is mostly a serious samurai thing where the stakes are very high and it's war and there's death all around. And I absolutely don't want this game to be Avengers style wisecracks.
Nope.
But
definitely don't.
Jin is one dry, uninteresting character to me. And like even his sort of main companions, they just aren't fun people. Like there are interesting elements to them. So Lady Adachi, her whole thing is she wants her family was killed. She wants to find her killers, and she will be ruthless to do it. I forget his name, the old man who was your former teacher. His thing is he basically stopped taking students. He found this one girl who was a prodigy with the bow, took her on, and then she kind of betrayed him and joined the Mongols. And that's all interesting, but it's like that problem of in this 40 hours of just sort of, samurai revenge style writing. It got tiresome, and it just needed a little bit more, again, not even jokey, but just different emotional stories and things to break it up. It needed times where it just wasn't being, serious revenge that characters must kill, etc. It would have been nice to just have some more, and not to constantly beleaguer this comparison, but I feel like Assassin's Creed does an okay job of having different mission types where, hey, they're usually going to involve killing, but like Assassin's Creed Mirage, there's a couple of missions where it basically just involves like, this person who's, I'm just going to call him a librarian, just wants you to get these books. And so sometimes that means breaking into a person's house and stealing these books. And it would have been nice to have more stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do think the acting is quite good for Jin, although
sure.
One thing that's very weird to me in this game, and I just could not get over throughout it, is so Jin is voiced by Kazuya Nakai, who has done a ton of voice acting, but most famously is Roronoa Zoro from One Piece.
Yep.
He's sort of a friend from his childhood, and hey, at one point, you team up with them, but then eventually they betray you, is this group who call themselves the Straw Hats. And so hearing Roronoa Zoro's voice just constantly talk about how he has to stop the Straw Hats and that he's going to kill the Straw Hats, just very weird. And I don't know if, because like the Straw Hats are obviously a part of historical Japan. There were groups called the Straw Hats. That is not that unusual. I don't know if they did that on purpose or not, if they had already written that stuff before they got their voice actor and then went, oh, okay, well, we'll just leave it in. It was very weird hearing this character talk about that in this way and going, oh, that's, was not expecting that. The side mission, this game also does that thing where there are sort of different tiers of mission, where there's main story quest, there's your companion sort of side quests, which I would say are like, hey, if you have major quest, there's sub major quest, there's like tail quests where hey, this wandering musician tells you a story about something and you have to go and do a series of missions, and then there's just one-off side missions. Some of those one-off side missions, the writing in them sucks. One that stuck out for me was the Mongols are attacking and destroying statues by this master statue maker. Go stop them. And you go to one of these statues, and okay, this guy's son is there. He's like, no, I want to protect the statue. My dad made it. Means a lot. I think they've already damaged it. So he's like, oh, my dad is, at this area. Can you go get him? You go get the dad. On your way back, the Mongols are attacking the statue. They kill the son. You kill the Mongols, and that's just like, oh, I shouldn't have, like, I forget what it is. It's something of just like, oh, I should have made my son understand. It's literally only maybe like 7 to 8 lines of him just saying something to the equivalent of, oh, I should have made my son understand, this is just artwork. It doesn't matter that much. It wasn't worth sacrificing his life. And just kind of just says like, just honor his sacrifice, and then just kind of goes away. Like that should have been a really
pretty emotional resolution. Yeah.
Well, it's like this should have been a really powerful, emotional story, and instead it's just a couple lines of dialogue, and then you just never see that guy again. It's just like, I get it.
I should probably honor my son. Well, I'm out of here until never again.
It's just
we'll see you in the highway.
Gritty, revenge, war, death everywhere. It's just exhausting after a while, and it does not do enough to just have people still trying to live their lives while all of this is happening, and Jin kind of doing, for lack of a better term, but meaningless side quests. That's kind of what Assassin's Creed, I think, gets right, is, hey, often you do missions that have nothing to do with you accomplishing your main goal. You're just helping random people who are living their lives, going about their day.
Yeah.
And that helps to make the world feel more alive, more real. That, well, no, people still just have to do stuff. They still have to be like, hey, hey, my dad made this sick-ass bow, and then these people stole it from me. Go get it back for me. It's like, yeah, that's okay. Like, this has nothing to do with me accomplishing my main goal, but it helps to invest me in this world. And that just felt lacking in a lot of ways. That I hope the sequel, Ghost of Yotei, they do a better job with that.
Yeah.
TBD on that. But getting to the sequel, coming off of this, I've seen a lot of other people express this sentiment of, yeah, I liked Ghost of Tsushima. It's a good open world game, but a sequel to it doesn't kind of get me all excited, hot and bothered, because it's, and I think part of the problem is it's just hard to sit here and envisage a sequel being all that different, being all that interesting, and like changing the formula. Hey, the combat was good, but again, I did 40 hours of this. If I had done 20 hours of combat, and they said, "Oh, here's a sequel," I would have said, "Hell yeah, sign me up. I totally want to play more of that combat." But after 40 hours of it, I'm kind of sitting here going, maybe if I had played this game when it first came out in 2020, I'd be feeling different. And I'd be going,
I think,
oh, yeah, I really like that. And I haven't had that in years now. Because, I mean, that game's not coming out until 2025 at the earliest, probably 5 years after. So,
I think what you're running into is what I ran into with Dying Light. Because, like, I played the first Dying Light very close to Dying Light 2 being released. And that second one came out, and I played it, and I was like, this is...
Yeah, I think a lot of people had that reaction. Not just you, right? I think a lot of people...
True, a lot of people did.
Oh, this is definitely better. They've done some cool stuff here, but, like...
Yeah.
It's...
I think it's good.
That core gameplay is just more of it, and I got enough out of that the first time.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I just... It's not even just the game. It's also... Again, like the story writing. Oh, is it going to be another 40 hours of just serious vengeance? Because, man, I can't do that. It's...
Sure you can.
Is the world going to be interesting? Am I going to be interacting with more just unique things in the environment? Because if it is just more nature stuff and then just... the same just assets used over and over for buildings and such, that just sounds boring to me again. So I hope Ghost of Yotei is good, but right now and they have not shown anything, but when I sit here and look at the fact they're putting that out and the prospect of another, I go, oh, I don't think I want that. I think I would have been more interested if they did something different, and I don't know what different is. If it means, like, maybe not necessarily, hey, they should have gone, way different, and it's gonna be, set in, say, like, Aztecs. But maybe they could have gone for, like, Korea instead, or China or something, at least something that would have shaken it up enough. I'd go, okay, yeah, I mean, hey, if it's Korea, the combat's going to be similar, but you'd probably have to change that up a fair bit, because it can't be that exact same kind of samurai thing. Like, yeah, it's going to be very similar, but it's not exactly the same. But knowing it's still Japan, it's sort of a just...
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. But...
Yeah, a different culture would be interesting. Just because, like, I'll be honest, we've had enough samurais to last us a fucking lifetime. Nothing against samurai and samurai fiction, because that stuff still has its place, and there's a lot of good, interesting themes coming out of that era, that locale, like that culture. But we don't, especially as North Americans, we don't really hear a lot about what happened around the same time with Korea or with Thailand or with Cambodia, places like that also have like, pretty rich cultures and histories. But could anybody tell me about what happened in Cambodia around that time? No, not really.
Hey, I can refer you to a guy. His name's Henry Kissinger. He can tell you a lot about it.
That was a different time. I don't mean in the 1200s. That was 1960, whatever. So, yeah.
No, don't worry. He can tell you all about it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he loves the Khmer Rouge. Anyway, fucking Kissinger.
Rotten piss.
Oh, yeah. May he burn in hell.
Yeah.
And he is. So, yeah, the thing is, a different culture would be really, really cool. We don't get a lot of that. I think that's one of the benefits of Assassin's Creed, especially what they're doing recently, is going culture to culture and trying some stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
with the upcoming one, Shadows, where they're going.
Yeah, the upcoming one, Shadows, set in Japan. That seems cool. What they're saying sounds exciting. So it's not. It might. I'm tired of Japan.
No.
It's that I'm tired of this game, and knowing another one in Japan is going to mean that they'll be just more boxed in. That, hey, it just means hey, if they had set this in another culture, another place,
yes,
you would think you would write it differently, right? If you set this in Cambodia, you're probably not going to write it quite the same way of samurai revenge. You would have to adopt to the Cambodian culture and way of talking and just sort of beliefs, all those things that and maybe that makes it go even darker in tone. Maybe it goes lighter in tone. Maybe it goes in a completely different way. Don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about Cambodian culture, what you were hinting at.
I don't think it was called Cambodia until like the 1700s or something like that, so or later. So
sure, honestly, no idea.
Yeah, I think it's the case.
But it's not so much tired of Japan. It's just knowing that if they stick in Japan, there's certain things that I can't be certain, but you kind of just expect, they're going to continue certain parts from the past game, and that's going to make it kind of meh.
That is too bad. I get that is kind of the leg up that Assassin's Creed has in these cases where they are globe hopping.
Yeah, except we don't like Assassin's Creed now because it went woke.
Did it go woke?
Yeah, so the next game has a black guy in it.
What? They didn't exist in
black
Japan?
People couldn't be samurai, so
no, that wasn't a thing at all.
This game's bad. They should have put an actual Japanese person in it, but not the other protagonist who's a woman, like a Japanese guy.
Because
it's not woke.
Women never fought in any wars ever.
No, not in Japan.
Not in
Japan never go woke like that.
No,
not until the North Americans got there and ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
But Japan was totally cool and not woke at all until the 1800s.
So Ghost of Yotai, huh?
Yeah.
Also a woman? I think that one.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Yes, people are very upset about that one.
Yeah, are they?
Like those kind of losers.
Oh, those
is what
people.
I mean. Like not the general public, just the
chuds.
losers.
Chuds.
Yeah. No, they're very upset, especially the actress is, I don't want to misspeak, but I know she is of the LGBT community. I just don't remember exactly.
Oh, that's what's her name? Erika Ishii, right?
Yes,
I think.
I don't remember how she identifies, so I know that has people upset because they went for a woman, I'm going to assume they're calling her a lesbian, even though she might not be, but that's what those chuds would do.
They would. And maybe wrong. I honestly don't know enough about her, to be honest. So
same.
Couldn't tell you.
I just, saw those chuds upset. But, I hope
Ghost
of Yote is good. I hope it does surprise me, and they do change those things, and they do address the complaints, but my expectations are low, and that they will in fact not do those things. But hey, could be wrong, could be good. We'll see. that's kind of all I have to say about Ghost of Tsushima. So why don't you tell the people where to find us?
You can find us on Erica Ishii's Wikipedia page where I'm at right now to find out what I shouldn't do that. That's stupid. You should go to our Blue Sky. Ha! Fuck Twitter.
Yeah.
King is dead. Long live the king, basically. And the cling. So, yeah, go to Blue Sky. We're at EIFNAR.bluesky. Whatever it is. You'll find us there. Don't worry. You'll figure it out. You're a smart cookie. Go there and do those things. Then tell us how much you'd like to Ghost of Tsushima and how much you are looking forward to Ghost of Yotai. And then maybe you can feel free to discuss how much Assassin's Creed Shadows pisses you off because there's a black guy in it. And then I'll be like, you're a chud, and I'll ban you. That's that'll work. There was actually historically a black samurai.
No, that's impossible.
It's a
Can't
whole,
be real.
It's a whole thing. It's very interesting bit of history.
Yeah, definitely wrong.
Well, no,
it's impossible.
It's not. Anyway, just go there. Also go to our Spotify, iTunes, and I don't know, maybe our YouTube page, channel, and maybe you can leave a review, star, press button thingy, whatever on the various sites. YouTube, you can like and subscribe. That, if you really want to. Still doing the bell thing. You can hit the bell if you want to. I don't give a shit. But the bell. I don't think anybody really gives a crap about the bell anymore. Which is good. The bell was stupid.
I think they do. I don't know.
Join? Do we have a join button? I haven't checked in a while. Maybe I should look into this.
Just click every join button you see.
Yes.
Problem solved.
Go to whatever YouTube page you can think of right now. I don't care what it is. Anything at all, and just hit that join button. Couldn't give a crap. It could be us. It could be, I don't know. It could be like Game Rants. It could be BH Bomber Guy. Yeah. Okay. It could be Steve Crowder. Everyone hates that guy.
Huh. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, and I pulled that deep out of there. Yeah, do that stuff. Maybe don't join his page, but
yeah, maybe don't
join or something. I don't know. Press buttons until you're happy with your life. Also, go to our friends. There's DJDane.com. Let's go to Desert Music, DJDane.com. Go there, listen to his great tunes, and just if you were planning on invading wherever he's at, I have to fully reiterate: horses with specifically engineered saddles, so you can shoot bows from horseback while riding them, not stationary, in motion.
Tristan, we have tanks now.
I don't care. This is a
better
better
guns.
There is historical precedent that people on horseback have fought a tank and won. Got to point that out. The Polish did it. They did it.
You go ahead and you bring your horses, and I'll bring my tanks, and
you can only turn so fast.
I think I'll win.
You can only turn so fast. It's fine.
The
Polish did it. I swear to God.
Okay. Yeah.
They did beat a German tank once.
Yeah. No.
On horseback.
Friendship's magic. Got it.
Sure. I mean, it is, but so is wearing winged armor on horseback. So you get it's a whole thing. Anyway, that's it for our show. Tune in for another. Oh, I can't pronounce this. Icosinoids. There it is. Episode of Everything's Place Ruined. See ya.
Say it.